All right, joining us this morning is Caloocan 2nd District Representative Edgar Erice. Representative Erice, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, Karen. Good morning sa mga listeners ng iyong program.
All right, so how would you describe the House probe yesterday? Give me your thoughts first. What was it like?
Well, as early as last week, si Congressman Laila De Lima ay meron ng pakiusap na sana wag nang mag-imbestiga ang House. And I shared that opinion, kaya lang hindi po ito nanahig sa Kongreso. So kaya kailangan din namin mag-participate. Pero isa sa mga pinag-usapan kahapon ay kinakailangan lahat ng members of the committee should submit a full disclosure na wala silang pecuniary interest or wala silang kamag-anak na involved in government contracts. Para sa ganun, at least may konting credibility naman yung aming investigation.
Oo. At nanawagan kayo kahapon, hiningi nyo ang presensya ni former Appropriations Committee Chairman Zaldico to attend the hearing. Why did you ask for that? Why did you think that was important? And what did your colleagues say?
It was born out of my interpellations kay Secretary Bonoan. Kasi lumalabas ang sinasabi ni Secretary Bonoan, after the second reading approval ng House, wala na silang alam kung paano nangyari. Ang proposal nila sa DPWH budget ay 900 billion. Pero nung lumabas na nagdagan nito na mahigit 100 billion. Alam mo, since 2024 at 2023, 1 trillion na yung nababago sa National Expenditures Program na yung President's Budget. Unprecedented ito dahil sa kasaysayan ng ating bansa, walang mapapayag na presidente na nababawasan siya ng ganyang kalalaki. So, nung tinanong ko, saan galing yung mga program of work na ng 100 billion na ito? Paano na-determine ito? Meron ba mga ECC, Environmental Compliance Certificates, yung mga flood control programs na nakapaloob dito? Ang sabi ni Secretary Bonoan, completely wala silang alam. Hindi nila alam kung saan galing. So sabi ko, it's very important that we inquire from the Committee on Appropriations and the Senate Finance Committee. Kasi nandun nagkaroon ng pagbabago. At I'm sure na nung panahon nila, ni Chairman Saldico at Senator Grace po bilang Finance Committee, during the BICAM, yung mga staff nila nagproseso. So nasaan yung mga programa na ito, sino ba yung mga proponents nito, ito'y very imperative para magkaroon kami ng kaalaman kung paano nababago ito. Baka naman tama yung pagbabago. Baka may emergency, baka may mga programs na ito, hindi natin alam na kung saan galing ito. Sila lang yung makakasagot ito.
Okay. Balikan po natin. No? So you made a motion to invite Chairman Zaldico, the former Appropriations Committee Chair, and Senator Grace Poe, who was the former Finance Committee Chair, to answer questions on the 2025 budget. Ang unang tanong ko, pumayag ba ang mga kasamahan nyo na maimbitahan si Zaldico?
Nag-object si Congressman Abante. Tinatanong niya ano yung purpose at sinabi ko naman yung purpose, pero nagkagulo, so na-suspend, tapos pinag-usapan nila ako na kung pwede i-defer muna yung aking motion para matuloy lang yung mga nandun na mga witnesses. So ang sinasabi nila, ang investigation is dun sa flood control, hindi naman dun sa budget. Ang sinasabi ko, sige, I will agree na i-defer yung aking motion. Pero and I will ask my staff to provide me with a list of projects na nandun yung 108 billion upang patunayan ko na meron talagang mga flood control programs dun sa 108 billion na insertion sa 2025. Pero hindi lang yan hindi lang yan yung purpose ko. I still want to know dun sa kasi yung 2024 budget 400 billion may get yung insertions. Sa 2023, 200 plus. Ditong 2025, 300 plus. So 1 trillion lahat ito. So ang gusto ko mangyari, makikita ko paano nila bakit nila napapalitan, ay insert, at saan ang gagaling itong mga programa.
Okay, so what you're saying right now, it seems that what the lower house only wants to investigate is the DPWH. It does not want to investigate itself in terms of the insertions that have been put in per district. Pero para maintindihan ng taong bayan, no, ang kontraktor at ang DPWH, dumadami, lumalaki ang pondong nagagamit para sa mga ghost projects, substandard projects, dahil sa isinisingit na pera, 'di ba, doon sa GAA.
Yes. Although meron din naman ng mga naisisingit sa National Expenditure Program dahil nanggagaling yan sa mga district engineering district. Kung may kalokohan yung mga district engineering tapos tinetolerate ako, sa akin, congressman ako, hindi ako nahihiya na sabihin, nakikialam ako Bakit? Kasi alam ko yung problema ng tao Saka nagkakaroon ng public consultation whether these projects will be beneficial to them or these projects is really needed by them.
All right. So,
imposible na hindi alam ng congressman na may proyekto sa kanila. Ganyan kalaki, 1 billion, 2 billion, imposible yan.
Okay. All right. Now, Representative Erice, I want you to look at your screen right now. We're not even talking about 1 billion, 2 billion. Ipapakita ko sa iyo yung natuklasan ni Representative Toby Tiangco when he was here on Head Start August 6. This is one district. Nakita niyo po ninyo, ang NEP niya 2.5 billion. That's one district in Mindoro. Ang pangalawa, 1.5 billion, another district in Mindoro. Nagsimula yan 2.5 billion, 1.5 billion. Pero nung natapos, nung naipasa na ang budget, ang naging budget ng dalawang distritong ito is 20.9 billion pesos each, yung isa 20.7 billion pesos each. So ang nangyari sa BICAM, for later release, nadagdagan ng 5 billion, nakikita natin sa charge 4 billion. Pero it means may dinagdag na 13 billion, ang isa 14 billion. Ang tanong ko, Representative Erice, ipapatawag niyo ba ang congressman ng 1st District ng Mindoro at yung, I think this is Mindoro Occidental or Oriental, you can correct me with this, pero ipapatawag ba sila? Bakit ganun kalaki ang infra-budget sa distrito nila?
Actually, narinig ko yung mga congressman involved na dinideny naman nila na may alam sila na
exactly. Okay.
Napunta yan sa kanila. So, it's
but shouldn't they explain that in the hearing? Shouldn't they explain that in the hearing? Na hindi namin alam, ba't kami may 20 billion? Para yung susunod na tanong, sino naglagay nun?
Kaya nga, it's very important that we invite Senator Poe and
Zaldico
to clarify the matter.
Okay.
Sino yung naglagay? Sino yung proponents? Sila yung nagproseso nito. I'm sure, hindi naman nila ipoproseso ito kung walang mga documents. Hindi naman nila ito pipirmahan kung walang mga documents.
Okay. Now, Representative Erice, are you hopeful? Because it seems to me that your colleagues are protecting Zaldico. It doesn't seem like they want to know the truth. Kauumpisa pa lang, minotion nyo na. Sinabihan na kayo, ba't pa i-invite? Sinabi ni Garin, let's not make it about personalities. Which, by the way, ang nagnanakaw, personalities. So, ang tanong ko, what kind of hearing do you expect? Ngayon pa lang, tinatakpan na ng mga kasamahan nyo. Ayaw na mag-invite even as resource persons.
Kaya nga po, ang kami sa minority, meron na po kami position, at least dapat siguro we should let the President na yung kanyang independent commission, siya yung mag-imbestiga. Si Presidente naman na nagsimula nito, dapat hayaan natin siya, tulungan natin siya, natapusin ito.
Okay. Now, are you hopeful with the committee chairman, Terry Redon? Because when I interviewed Terry Redon on Head Start, he was already defending Zaldico. He said Zaldico divested from SunWest, etc., etc. There's no proof. So for a committee chairman to already be defending another colleague who could be a resource person, what do you make of that hearing?
Well, ayaw i-prejudge kung ano man yung kanilang agenda. Basta kami sa minority, we have our own agenda. We will be impartial and we'll be uncompromising in asking questions. So, kasi kung ipe-prejudge ko, parang hindi na rin ako fair. So, basta meron tayong motion to invite them, palagay ko, yun ang dapat na gawin. At tingin ko bilang isang sitting congressman, it is the responsibility of Congressman Saldico to appear or to attend the meeting at least and clarify all these matters. Hindi lang yung integrity at credibility ng House ang nakataya dito.
Okay, but
It's his responsibility.
If you were Zaldico, I'll be honest, right? And there are talks that you've allegedly made billions. Why would you appear in a hearing? In other words, what's the cost-benefit analysis for him? When he's getting away with it, he doesn't have to.
So if he's getting away with it, I think it's up to the president to really pursue the investigation by an independent commission. Pero siyempre, alam mo naman, ang Kongreso, collegiate body yan, kami, we have a role as the minority. We will provide check and balance, but we will not prevail. Of course.
At naniniwala kayo, Representative Erice, that you will not prevail. In other words, you can make all the motions, you can call out resource persons, but in the end, you believe that it won't happen. Not in Congress.
Sana, ang aking pakiusap nga, we should not protect individual members, we should protect the institutions.
Don't protect individual members, but that's what's going on. That's the sad part. You're not protecting the institution, meaning the hearing, or not even the people's interests. They're protecting colleagues. So I want to ask you, si Representative Ungab seconded with your motion, and he raised his voice and he shouted, "This year's budget is the most corrupt," right? Tapos si
Yes.
Abante, Representative Abante, objected. So what do you make of that?
Well, ang sinasabi nila, parliamentary courtesy, sabi ko, si Senator Grace mo naman, hindi na senador. So, okay lang yon. Si Congressman Saldico, hindi naman siya, hindi naman suspect, hindi naman siya, kundi resource person. Para sa ganon, dahil siya lang naman talaga yung nakakaalam ng katotohanan of these insertions by the hundreds of billions.
Okay, but I wanted to ask you, are you surprised with Representative Benny Abante's stand? I mean, considering that he was minority leader of the House at one point from 2019 to 2020.
Well, he's already with the majority. Pero I'm appealing to the majority. We should not... this is something that is beyond party lines or beyond alliances. Nakataya po dito yung credibility ng ating institusyon. Kaya po wala naman po kaming gustong i-pin down dito. Gusto lang natin ay kung magkakaroon tayo ng investigation, magkaroon naman ng credibility. Dahil kung wala, tatamaan naman yung ating institusyon na House of Representatives. Kung ayaw naman natin because of certain conflict of interest, dahil alam naman natin, hindi naman natin matidinay na maraming mga congressmen ang contractors, biyayaan na lang natin yung presidente mag-investigate.
Oo. Palagay mo, Representative Erice, una, tanongin na kita. Baka naman meron kang kumpanya na construction company, contractor ka din.
Wala po.
Wala ka. Okay.
I'm involved in mining. Director po ako ng isang mining company at noong naging congressman po ako, sinabi ko na noong 2013, nung naging presidente po kasi ako ng isang mining company, nag-inhibit po ako sa lahat ng mga committees that will involve yung mining. Pero bago po ako naging congressman kasi, involved na ako doon as early as 2000.
So ang tanong ko, palagay nyo, ilang kongresista ang may sariling construction contracting company? Whether they founded it, involved in it, kamag-anak nila, anak nila, Palagay mo ilan po sa kanila, sir?
It's impossible eh. It's impossible for me to determine the number. Alam ko po, meron. At maaaring sila yung contractors na before becoming representatives. Yun yung kaya lang talaga may conflict of interest dahil lalo na kung yung mga proyekto nandun sa kanilang mga lugar. Halimbawa, ako naman po sa mining, sa Caloocan po ako, pero yung aking business interest nasa Mindanao. So medyo malayo talaga.
All right. Okay, but we'll stick with this first. Now, DPWH District Engineer Alcantara, he admitted, no, let's talk about the DPWH, the gaps within the DPWH. He admitted to not investigating the projects openly. Nung tinanong, I believe it was Abante, dapat kang kasuhan, he said yes. And he admitted to proposing the same projects in the NEP kahit na yung mga proyekto nyon, ghost projects, he admitted to doing that. What was your take with his admission?
Well, ang sinasabi niya, hindi niya alam yung sa implementation. Pero kalokohan yun. Pagka district engineer ka, dapat lahat ng projects sa yung distrito, alam mo. The same way with a representative or a local government official, dapat lahat ng mga projects na i-implement sa distrito mo, sa bayan mo, dapat alam mo sapagkat apektado yung constituents mo.
Oo. Pero what he did say is hindi niya alam. Sinabi niya na hindi nga niya iniimbestigahan. Do you believe it?
Nagsisinungaling siya. Ano yan? Kaya magsinungaling. Hindi man lang kumukurap yung matay.
Okay. All right. Now, another question is 5 out of 16 contractors sa PNAD, they skipped the House infra hearing, no? 5 ang hindi sumipot, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a possibility that they will contempt charges will be filed against them, that they could be detained? Nangyayari ito sa mga nakaraang
Yes, of course.
hearing.
Yes, of course. Nagawa na yan ng House, so wala namang dahilan para hindi nila gawin nila. Pero alam mo, sa tingin ko, yung 15 contractors, dapat hindi naman i-prejudge yan. Kasi baka naman may mga legitimate contractors na wala namang mga flood control projects, malaki lang talaga yung kanilang kumpanya. Meron naman doon, kitang-kita mo, mga dami lang. Halimbawa, may nakita ako doon sa Senate hearing, talagang kitang-kita mo, dami lang siya. So, malalim itong problema na ito dahil I don't think, for example, yung St. Timothy, yung St. Gerard, yung siyam na kumpanya ng mga Diskaya, I don't think that they are capable of implementing numerous projects at the same time. Natatandaan mo, Karen, yung St. Timothy, they are also involved with Miro, di ba? Doon sa Comelec. So I think yung lisensya nila, ginagamit lang nila yan para gamitin ng iba.
All right. My last question would be, what do you expect from this hearing? Anong katutunguhan po nito? Anong katapusan nito?
We will try our best in the minority to ask sensible questions and come up with our own committee report. Whether it will be a minority report, okay lang yun. Basta nakapagtanong kami at we will be able to derive some conclusions. So we will write a minority report. Pero ang aking pag-asa, dahil ang nagsimula po nito ay ang ating Pangulo, dapat po tapusin niya. Pag hindi niya po natapos ito, napakasama ng mangyayari sa ating bansa. Talagang, kita niyo, awayan na lang ng awayan, kaguluhan. Ngayon, dahil dito...
Well, hindi lang yun. People are angry. I think people are very angry.
Yes. Alam niyo, nakita niyo yung, for example, dito sa Metro Manila, kahit matataas na lugar, binabaha.
Oo.
Kasi for 10 years, hindi na nagde-dredge ng mga natural waterways ang DPWH because of allegations of corruption. Yes. So reactionary na yung gobyerno. Pag ayaw lang kahit na yung tama, hindi dahil meron lang suspicion na may hindi na dinedredge yung mga natural waste. I'm sure
Ang tanong ko,
mga 100 million tons of solid waste yung nasa natural waterways natin. Kaya tayo binabaha.
okay, Representative Erice, I'm curious with the House rules. Can the Speaker technically order a congressman to attend a hearing, or does the Speaker don't have that? Does he or not have that power?
Well, the Speaker can persuade a certain member of the House, especially kung alay niya, kung kasama niya sa partido, siguro pwede. Pero siyempre, ang responsibilidad ay nandun sa committee chair. Dahil
So sa committee chair. So technically, what should committee chair Terry Redon do to
Tatlo po sila
ensure
doon.
that Zaldico attends the hearing? Anong dapat gawin ni Terry Redon?
dapat po imbitahan niya.
Okay.
Hindi niya naman kontrolado kung atin niya o hindi. So, I don't think we can cite Congressman Saldico in contempt dahil siya is a member of the House.
So,
So
technically,
invite lang. Kasi ang problema, kung hindi naman namin iimbita, hindi namin alam kung baka naman willing umattend. Parang nagpe-presume na lang, nag-assume tayo na hindi siya attend, hindi siya sasagot.
so
So
technically,
why not invite?
Oo. But with the limitations that you just mentioned, it seems that I don't think the House can investigate really themselves. You can't investigate your colleagues.
Yan po yung aming opinion in the minority. We cannot investigate ourselves. At kaya nga si Secretary Vince Dizon, inabolish niya yung fact-finding ng DPWH dahil alam na sinabi niya, we cannot investigate ourselves. And,
All right. Okay.
siguro dapat sundan natin yung magandang halimbawa na yun, Secretary Dizon.
Okay. Now, what is your reaction? First of all, I want to ask you with former Secretary Bonoan. He was there in the hearing. You have his district engineer admitting to not investigating the projects, admitting to proposing the same projects in the NEP, and Bonoan saying wala siyang alam doon.
Opo. Alam nyo, tingin ko si Secretary Bonoan, alam niya naman na there are powers that be, especially in the budget process. Sabi niya nga, hanggang second reading lang naman. Hanggang second reading, hindi niya na alam kung anong nangyayari. At siyempre sa budget process, may mga local governments, may mga representatives na kanya-kanya na pinipilit yung kanilang mga proyekto. Siguro kinakailangan lang talaga na magkaroon ng pagbabago sa proseso ng vetting ng mga projects. Ito yung isang magandang input para sa pagbabago sa ating batas. Kasi sa tingin ko wala talaga, parang hindi magagawa ito ni Secretary Bonoan. By the way, sabi ko nga, wala nang papayag na presidente before President Marcos na babawasan yung president's budget by 1 trillion. Noong 2023-2024, binawasan na 700 billion. So dapat yung DBM, dapat may input na sila sa presidente. Bantayan natin ito, baka bawasan na naman itong 2025. Palagay ko meron din pagkukulang sa executive department. Sa budget.
Anong pagkukulang? Ano ang pagkukulang ng executive department, sir? Be specific.
Dapat binantayan na nila na binawasan na ng 2023, 2024. You should not do that kasi president's budget yan. Ang nangyari, because of the huge amount of insertions and changes, it's no longer a president's budget. Tawag mo dyan, congressional budget na yan. In fact, merong 14 na foreign assisted projects na inalisan ng equity sa 2025 budget.
Ng pondo.
So, ibig sabihin, foreign assisted yun. May pondo yung may pondo na ibinigay yung mga foreign
Counterparts.
banks and institution, yung ating equity para matuloy yung proyekto, inalis na.
Oo. Yeah.
Ay, sabi ko, bakit kayo pumayag? Ba't hindi nyo
Yes,
binito?
good point. Good
Ba't hindi nyo
point.
binito?
Oo.
Di ba, bakit hindi binito? Yung pa lang, dapat binito na ng Pangulo. Bakit hindi binito? Yun
Yes.
yun ang mga maraming tanong na hindi ko masagot.
Oo, very good point. So I think tama pag after the BICAM, dapat bantayan ng ehekutibo ng budget department ng iba't ibang ahensya yung mga pinagtatanggal, pinababago para ma-veto ng Pangulo because he could have acted on the 2025 budget. The President didn't have to accept that budget.
And during the time of PGMA, matatandaan nyo, ang daming
she
mga
vetoed.
reenacted budget.
Oo,
Kasi hindi siya pumabayag. Nung panahon ni Pinoy, 1 billion lang mawala doon sa President's budget. Nako, iinit ang ulo nun.
Oo, you're right. Good point. Okay, my last question. Your reaction that the President has chosen Vince Dizon as the new DPWH Secretary and he's giving the agency 60 days to actually clean up, in effect. No, I don't know if he can clean it up in 60 days, but at least para baguhin yung sistema, to rearrange the department.
Super excellent choice.
Okay.
I think he can deliver. Kilalang-kilala ko yung kalibre ni Secretary Vince Dizon.
Oo. Excellent choice for you. All right, on that note, I want to thank you and I do hope that you get back on Head Start. Thank you so much, Caloocan 2nd District Representative Edgar Erice.